Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. At the beginning of our story today, we find a restaurant on the road, and then we see an officer playing a car racing game called Highway to Hell. Sitting next to him are a couple named Charlie and Rachel, who are sitting to rest a bit, and then they will continue their trip to Las Vegas. It happens that they are traveling to get married behind their families' backs, and for this reason, Charlie is afraid that the officer will know that they ran away from home, so they decided to return home together with their dog band. But as soon as they leave the restaurant, the officer takes his motorcycle and follows them. Charlie, in order to get rid of him, decides to take another road that leads to a place called the Black Canyon. After he makes sure that they are the only officer, Charlie decides to continue on this road. After a while, he arrives at an old gas station called the Last Chance. There lives an old man named Sam, who helps them and fills up the car for them and offers. They have to spend the night in his cabin, but Charlie and Rachel are in a hurry, as the man gives them strange advice and tells them to be careful of the Joshua trees, and that they shouldn't stand in the middle of the road until they reach the nearest gas station because the road is dangerous. Although they don't understand the advice, they accept it and continue their journey. While they were walking, they find the lights turned off after they walked for a long time, and then they continue walking. In the middle of the road, Rachel falls asleep and Charlie tries to stay awake and alert, but then he falls asleep and has an accident and hits the sign. Then they find a police car coming towards them, and a strange officer gets out of it, carrying a gun, a helmet, and strange handcuffs in the shape of human hands. When he looks at the car, Charlie tells him that everything is fine. But when the officer approaches, he finds his face disfigured and with very strange drawings on it, and without saying a word, he gets up and pulls Rachel out of the carriage. But Charlie tries to prevent him, but the officer hits him and also prisons Rachel in the car. And when she was riding, her chain falls from it and tries to escape and runs away a lot, but no one hears her. And the strangest thing is that the carriage's hand disappears, and he takes it after that, and Ben wakes him up and walks away after a while. Charlie wakes up and he starts calling for Rachel, but he finds nothing but her chain. When he finds that there is nothing useful, he decides to go back to Sam's station. When he arrives, he asks him who this person is. Sam explains to him that the path he saw was two paths, one of which is a legendary path to hell, and unfortunately Rachel was taken there with the victims before her, and all of them are still holding the same fate. The sergeant, known as the defending officer, also tells him that Rachel is not. The first victim was Clara, his fiancée, and he says that if he hadn't fallen asleep on the road, the sergeant wouldn't have come out and taken her. But Sam decides to help Charlie and gives him his car and the weapon he has. Charlie takes his things from his car and puts them in Sam's car. He also takes a teddy bear as a gift in the form of a watch. Sam gives it to him and tells him that he has to go and save Rachel within an hour and come back. They know that if he takes more than an hour, he will be gone forever and will not come back. After that, Charlie and Ben begin the rescue journey and go to save Rachel. They follow Sam's instructions after he told them that he will find the gate after he passes by the trees again. Charlie speeds up to save his girlfriend. At this time, Sam remembers that he forgot to tell Charlie something important about the car. After Charlie appears from the trees, he finds the officer's car has appeared to him, so he participates. Birkin and Best are going to shoot him, but this time he finds a real officer. He walks in the car and continues on his way, and the officer walks behind her. Suddenly, the gate opens in the middle of the road and Charlie enters it. He disappears completely, and the officer goes crazy when he sees this. On the other hand, Charlie has reached hell, and Bella finds himself in a place that looks like a desert, with nothing but dirt and mountains. When Best sees the place, the sergeant takes Rachel and goes to the cafeteria. There, she finds trapped souls, all waiting for their food. The sergeant handcuffs them to the table and asks for something hot to drink, and at that moment, all the souls there gather around him. When he chokes on it, he pulls out his gun and finishes off anyone he dislikes. At that moment, Rachel takes advantage of the opportunity that the sergeant is not paying attention to her, and she pours the drink on the handcuff and runs away and gets out of the cafeteria. Component placement, and she pours the drink on the handcuff and runs away and gets out of the cafeteria. And she goes out into the desert, but all at once she finds herself regretting from everywhere and around her a gang on motorcycles, offering a man named Rice. And unfortunately, the leader hands her over to the sergeant but tells him that, with this move, he owes him. And after a few hours, Charlie finally arrives at the restaurant, but the sergeant takes Rachel and leaves. And not only that, but the gang also attacks, and the leader asks him what he is doing here. So he tells them that he came to save his lover who the sergeant took, and the leader admires his courage, so he leaves, but warns him and tells him that if he dies in hell, it will take his soul and Charlie because he has no other, and save his lover. And at that time, he spots a beautiful girl with them who looks like Sam's fiancée, but since he doesn't have much time, he moves the car and goes looking for his lover. And after a while, he finally finds the sergeant's car and starts to chase him and tries to stop him. But the car can't can't handle all this talk. And while they were banging on each other, Charlie is trying to get the weapon he has. But the sergeant takes out his first gun and starts hitting the car to get rid of it. And Charlie is actually trying to control the car, but he is unable to continue walking with it. And so the sergeant takes Rachel and walks with her towards the village in front of them. And then Charlie sits looking for someone to help him in the middle of the desert only. When he was a while away, he found Winch and took his stroller. He ran up to him, and Bella, a mechanic named Beazle, had a little boy with him. He kept telling him that he remembered the stroller had no owner, and he told him that he would repair it in his workshop. Charlie agreed, helped him, and moved the stroller, and he and Pan went with him. There, Beazle was actually repairing the stroller, and he did not want to take any money from him. Charlie doubted the matter, but thanked him and moved quickly. And at this time, we find that the little boy is anxious. In the car, after a while, they arrive at the village, and here Adam, the little boy, appears and tells Charlie that he can help him, and tells him that he knows where the sergeant is. When he finds that the boy is very attached to his dog, he agrees to take him with him. When they are walking, they ask him what brought him here. Adam tells him that his father also slept on the road and the sergeant killed him. After that, the sergeant took him to Bizzle. When Charlie hears this, he tells him that he will take him and Rachel with him. When the boy hears this, he is very patient and tells him that Rachel is currently in a nightclub called Hooves. When they arrive there, Charlie leaves the boy and the dog in the car and goes in with Sam's gun. He finds many girls locked up, so he searches for Rachel until he finds her. When he tries to get her out of the cage, the sergeant appears and she participates, but nothing happens to the sergeant. Charlie tries to hit him again, but the sergeant gets up. He carries him and throws him in the air and takes Rachel and walks with her, and Charlie is seriously injured. So Adam tries to help him and asks Beazle to save him, and Beazle agrees, but on one condition: that Adam does not run away from the workshop again. After he treats Charlie's injury, Charlie wakes up and goes down and explains to him what happened and tells him that he wishes he would return to his world. But Charlie refuses to walk without Rachel, so he suggests that he take a shortcut to reach the sergeant faster, and Charlie decides to take this route. But Beazle tells him that it is not possible to take Adam with him, and Charlie gets very upset because of him, but he is forced to complete his journey. Halfway there, he finds Race and his gang appearing again, but he is able to escape from them and walks through the shortcut. Then he reaches a cave, so he gets out of the car and goes for a walk in the cave. After walking a little while, he hears the sound of a motorcycle and remembers Riz. He tries to attack him but finds Clara, Sam's fiancée, who tells him that she made a wrong decision, and since then she has been locked up here, and advises him not to repeat her mistake and to leave from here. But he continues his mission and goes to save Rachel and keeps circling in the cave until he reaches a door. He goes up to the hotel room and there he finds Rachel, but he finds her tied up. Although he is happy to find her, he feels that something is wrong because she is behaving in a very strange way. At that moment, Sergeant Beck surrounds the wall and enters them and starts to quarrel with Charlie. When he pulls out the gun, Charlie throws it from his hand. After the sergeant pulls it out of his hand, Charlie gets up and takes the gun from the ground and they strike. Finally, the blow hits him. Bay takes the opportunity and takes Rachel too. Bay takes the opportunity and takes Rachel to escape with her. But at that moment he looks in the mirror and sees that this is not Rachel and that this is a devil. The devil starts attacking him and Charlie tries to resist, but the devil grabs his tail, so he takes a piece of the broken mirror and cuts off his tail. Finally, he is able to escape from this monster after hitting him with a gun and throwing him into the hole under the bed. He watches as he burns. After all these events, he realizes that time is running out and he needs to save Rachel quickly. So he drives the car and finds many cars on the road heading towards the huge tunnel. Not only that, but all the cars are trying to block the road in front of him to prevent him from arriving, but insists and enters the tunnel. There, he continues walking, and he and Ben get out of the bridge. But on the other side, they find Surpus, the three-headed dog who does not want to pass them. But Ben runs and craves this so that Charlie can walk. After that, Charlie goes to the port that Karen is responsible for and tells Charlie that he can take a boat to the city. But he warns him and tells him that once he crosses the lake, there is a very strong possibility that he will not be able to return. Charlie thanks him for the advice and continues on his way and finally reaches the city and finds it very similar to downtown. And the guards, as soon as they see him, expel him, and he is the only one who is able to escape from them and enters a very luxurious room. And inside, Bella is Rachel, and to make sure that she is real, he looks at her in the mirror. And finally, he reaches his lover, and unfortunately, Lucifer interrupts and tells him that Rachel will be his wife and promises him that he will live a very luxurious life, that Charlie will never be able to live in it. But she refuses because she loves Charlie and wants to live her life with him. And when he finds that they are not willing to do anything to be together, he tells them that they can go, but on one condition, which is that they go without looking back or they will never be free again. And indeed, the two take each other and go on. They get a long way from there, but Lucifer feels that he is bored, and here we discover that he was acting as Bizzle the mechanic. And as soon as the young men reach the sergeant's car, they find themselves trapped and paralyzed. She does the same move that she saw the sergeant do, and at that moment the car door handle appears in a crack, and then they find the sergeant coming out of the place and running after them. The young men start the car and escape from the tunnel, which apparently has no exit, but Rachel knows the way and tells him to move forward at high speed. They actually find themselves out of the tunnel. After they reach the other side, Charlie sets fire to the sergeant's car to disable him, and they go to his car, and Bella is waiting for them, so they walk until they reach the other end of the tunnel. At this time, the sergeant is really confused about his car, but he brings people to fix it. Here, Charlie decides to go back to Bizzle's workshop to take Adam as he promised him. But the strange thing is that he doesn't find the workshop basically, and finds in front of him is a very huge skyscraper, and Beazle really comes out of it. But it looks like something changed, and when Charlie tells him that he came to take Adam, Beazle tells him that it will not work, so he participates and offers to challenge him to a curse, and if he wins, he will take Adam. But if he loses, then at that time neither of them will leave from here. And Lucifer agrees to this and begins to decide what he will do with them, and says that if Charlie loses, then he will throw him to Royce to deal with him, and he will take Rachel to marry her, and he will make her a son who will help him control this world. And in the future, they will come to the human world as well, and after that, the two of them go to the race point. And at that time, Race also comes, and Clara goes to them before the race and asks them to tell Sam that she is good here. And after that, Lucifer shows Charlie the way to the exit, and before they start, he gives him a second chance. He withdraws before the race starts, but Charlie remains determined that they start the race, and then the sergeant appears with Pierre in his car. Here, Race objects and tells Lucifer that he also wants a chance to leave this place, but Lucifer refuses and tells him that he always disappointed him. Royce gets angry and realizes that he was wrong, so he takes Clara behind him on the motorcycle and moves towards the gate. Then we see him driving at top speed and is able to reach the sergeant's car. As soon as he sees them, he shoots them, but Race remembers that the sergeant owes him, so he prefers this. Then Race reaches Charlie and threatens him to give up this race and tells him that he will be the one who will pass through the gate, but Charlie cannot risk Rachel and he cannot risk Zrina. But Charlie cannot risk Rachel and Adam's lives and refuses. At that moment, Clara helps him and puts a cloth over Race's face so that he does not know how to drive. Indeed, Race loses control and falls off the hill. After that, they get rid of Royce and find the sergeant still chasing him and approaching them and hitting Charlie's car. At that moment, Charlie pulls out his gun and shoots him, but nothing happens to the sergeant. At that moment, Adam warns him and tells him that the only way he can get rid of the sergeant is to destroy his glasses. Charlie tells Rich to load the gun, but unfortunately, she only finds one bullet in it. On top of all of this, the sergeant keeps shooting at the car, which makes the bullets fall from Rachel's hand. All the way, the sergeant keeps shooting at the car from every direction, and Rachel doesn't know how to hold the bullets, but when she was looking for it, she finds a secret device in the car. When she steps on it, she finds that the car's guns have engaged, which is the thing that Sam forgot to tell them about. With that, the car moves at top speed. Finally, Charlie, Rachel, Ben, and Adam are able to pass through the gate and escape from this place. When they reach the other side, they finally return to the human world, and this is at the same moment that the officer was chasing Charlie and remained shocked because he disappeared suddenly. He finds him appearing again, and although he can't believe what he's seeing, he grabs Charlie and arrests him. Charlie doesn't care about anything because he thinks he's already gone through much harder times, but at that moment, they find the sergeant suddenly appearing, literally entering a calm, fire-filled entrance. He gets out of the car and goes towards the officer, and no matter how much the officer shoots him, nothing affects him. When it's the sergeant's turn, he sends the officer flying in the air with one punch and then goes to Charlie, whose hand is in handcuffs, but he still grabs the officer's helmet with his other hand. He manages to break one of the lenses of the sergeant's glasses, but the sergeant resists and puts the gun to Charlie's mouth just to kill him. At this moment, Rachel comes out with a weapon and points it at the other lens. After they hit him in his weak point, the sergeant burns up with his car and finally gets rid of him. Even Lucifer is surprised by their family's understanding, and he also helps Adam to find him. And up to here, the events of our movie today end. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button so you never miss an updates. See you in the next video.